I've got game now. Beautiful. Yeah, they did indeed get that tier 2 down as the internet has come back alive. It's recovered from that last team fight, and it looks as though it is going to be the side of Fisher College that is finally starting to get down some of these outer turrets and pick up a lot of the gold. Now 4K gold lead under their belt.
It is. We're back into the thick of things. I was about to ask you, Rector, once again, man, it's looking like blue side superiority coming through. That's all I'm gonna say. It's not over till it's over. These teams are now neck and neck, though. The gold would tell a different story. These last two team fights would tell a different story. But York University Black is not the #1 seed for no reason.
Yeah, no, not the #1 seed for no reason. They still have a lot to work through, but again, this is a bit of like that meta read that I was talking about. Things like this Ravenous Hydra being so useful in scaling for these AD style carries in the game. As we do look, that's a Wits In now finished on Enthralled, second item in the game for them, and it looks as though Stoppa is working towards that for hard.
They are here at Knowing is working towards clearing out this jungle for his team. They find the root on the DMK. TP's coming down as well, but a nice ult from Topo. He's gonna keep everyone stuck in place. The Oranhorn's gonna get dropped now as well as the fight is sectioned off once again. It's Benjamin against the world right now. It feels into the same story for Knowing. Looking to dash in Topo, throwing everyone aside. Will it be enough? The answer is gonna be no, though. Down he goes. They move on to Enthralled and take him out a double kill for Unawakened.
And fighting in that ravine, it just isn't the best thing in the world. Once again, it's 4 members strong on to the Baron here, with Knowing just being able to act as a meat shield.
Indeed, he can be. Oh my God, Benjamin again. The name's throwing me for a loop right now. Is trying his damnedest to break through, find some kind of an angle for his team, but won't find it. DMK has to watch. Baron is taken down. The question is, can they take someone out and make sure that not all members get it? And the answer might not be yes, because down goes Benjamin. GK, excuse me, has to run on out of there, same as Serenok. Just too damn low. Too many beefcakes from the side of York University.
Yeah, and nobody that can cut through all of the beef. There's no tank killer here. There's nothing that's going to stop them. Is now at this point, you know, you saw 3 members try to engage on 5, not able to get a single pick, and now the roles are reversed. It is the side of York University that has the Baron buff, has the ability to start kind of pushing forward and breaking down the base. The difference being is they have frontline, they have tanks and bruisers to withstand the brunt of York University, or sorry, of Fisher College, and really set up a strong siege under these tier 2s.
So here's drag up in 20 seconds. This will be soul for York University Black if they can grab it. But we've been here before, Regdor, and last time we were here, it didn't end so well for them, and they know it to be so. And TP coming in from Knowing as well. They want all hands on deck. They're going to look to push this wave out first. Maybe they just give the drag on over and look to grab these turrets and just say, listen, man, choose. You want the drag or you want your base?
No, that's exactly what they're going to do. It's Benjini who is the one who has to try to put on some sort of defense. As you start seeing the recalls coming through, they may pick up the Drake, but it may cost them the game.
Indeed, it might. Ultimate getting dropped from top, although going to keep 3 members in their stead. For now, they should be able to hold off the assault, but you got the drag. But at what cost, Rektor? You lost the tier 3. Indeed, he does. Can he make something of it is the question, though. Looking to dash in. Gonna gold, though. They find the first pick onto Phoenix, so they lost Enthralled in the process. So it's still an even fight. They find Benjini. So much healing coming through, though. He's doing his damnedest to stay alive. And stay alive he will for just a moment before he goes down again. Unawakened is looking to clear up this fight as Misha grabs 1 as well. Misha grabs 2, but ultimately, DMK stands victorious. And now it's him versus Knowing, the 1-on-1. Can he catch up to him is the question, though. He's got the speed, but Knowing's got some speed in him too. He's found him. Does he have the damage? The 1v1 of the Sentry begins. This is for all the marbles. Screw the match. It's only who wins this one. Hit him with the happy bee. He's running circles around him. He's healing a whole lot, but it does not matter. DMK is gonna clean things up.
DMK is able to save the day with that monstrous flank there off of the Drake, but the damage was done. This is the mid inhibitor down. And I'll continue to talk about it because I think it's still an interesting point, is that we do not have an ADC from Fisher College. They do not have sustained damage outside of DMK. Benjini is starting to find kind of their limit, if you will. Double defensive items with the Death Stance, as well as that Maul of Malmortius now built. So all of the damage that is sustained is coming out of DMK. If they are picked off in fights, if they are focused down, well then Fisher College doesn't have a whole lot of legs to stand on. All 4 will be gone.
Yeah, and it's a little worrying as well that even with the flank coming through from DMK, they still lost 4 of their members. They almost lost all of their troops in that battle, right? It was really down to the wire.
Yeah, if you play a game of Risk and you only have 1 troop left, you're not holding that country. Somebody's going to come and take it. And in this case, the base is the name of the game. Now it's this top tier 1 that may not be around much longer.
Indeed, it will not. Down it goes. DMK looking for something, but wants to back off instead. The second cyclone going to get dropped, trying to buy some time for Loja to get on over. Doesn't quite find the ulti though, but they might not even need it. They're just throwing DMK around like he's a frisbee. A lot of damage coming through, but ultimately, they're just barely going to be able to escape.
Yeah, but meanwhile, it's just Topo here. Now has 2.5 items strong, having to defend this mid lane. Meanwhile, the top tier 2 goes, and this is still in the side of York University. This is good for them as they continue to siege up. Look at the auto attack speed on Varus.
It's absolutely huge, dude. Ulti getting dropped in here from Topo. This is the fight they need. They need to make something happen here. Ornhorn does get dropped, but down goes Topo. And now DMK knows it's time to step up. It's time to play, but he goes down. Benjamin, we're all looking at you. You gotta make something happen. He gets a double. Can he find the triple and throw all this tanking and healing as much as he can? But a double kill for Unawakened. And now it's all up to Benjini to make something happen. It's a 2-on-1 at the moment. He's healing, dashing, prancing around as much as he can. Does he have the damage, though, is the question. Goes gold as a final attempt, but the answer most likely will be no. Gore Drinker keeps him alive. He's just barely standing. You gotta kill this man. You gotta kill him now. But he's able to escape back into base, and so there's Ned gonna opt for the turrets now. First Nexus turret is close to falling. Same with the second as well. Benjini has to make something happen. Goes gold once again. It's just barely alive. Oh, actually got revive from the GA coming through, but it's too little, too late as York University Black close out game number 1.
It goes to show that, like, I guess bipedal is better than a horse here in game number 1. And really, to me, like, it was really well fought, very back and forth. But the difference of having an ADC versus not having an ADC, having a front line and not having a front line, created just this obtuse sort of gameplay where you saw, even with a double flank from DMK and Benjini, it didn't matter, because at the end of the day, they were able to fight this front to back and say, we'll worry about you when we need to, but continuing to press forward towards the enemy base that wins them that final fight.
Absolutely. The movement was great. Just, I feel it felt like it was almost all over. The moment they made that crucial decision to say, we'll give drag over, we're going to go into your base, we're going to make you choose. And it kind of felt like Fisher College, they didn't choose the right answer. They opted to go for the drag, but that just cracked their base wide open. And it felt like York was able to just use that momentum to just keep things going.
Yeah, absolutely. Automatically having that pushing lane and then just saying, we're going to commit 4 to the top side of the map and push down into your base. It was phenomenally played. And something that's interesting here is, like, if I had to give you a multiple choice question of who you think did the most damage in the game, like A, Akali, B, Wukong, C, Hecarim, or D, Riven, where would you, what do you think the answer is?
Whew, that's a toughie, man. I'm looking at Akali, a lot of damage coming through. I wouldn't know. I might just have to just dot one box and just be like, we're going with it, you know?
My man went with the Christmas tree. It was Wukong. It was Unawakened, who, like, by a kind of a short margin, about a 2k difference in damage here, putting out so much. We said before the game started, Wukong's not a pick that we've seen a lot of, but this Ravenous Hydra, I guess, is just enough to tip him over the edge and get him back in there. And we saw that, like, DMK was pulling ahead a lot in the early game, but it was that mid to late game and the decision making, the Jock Show coming online for knowing, that created the stability they needed to fight in these choke points and really just shine as the Wukong.
Yeah, I mean, no one could not die, basically. We even saw in the 1v1 going up against DMK, who was the most fed member of their team, who did the most damage of his team as well. He was able to survive for so incredibly long just with the amount of tankiness coming through, the healing from Jock Show as well. And it's like you said, it was a great platform for the rest of his team, so to speak.
Absolutely. But hey, that was only game number 1. You got to win 2 to get to the finals.
Yeah, we're not, that's the crazy thing. We may not even be close to being done here. Obviously, this does mean that York University Black only has to pick up one more game to secure their spot in the finals, but that was still a very strong showing coming through from Fisher College. So if any team can get themselves 2 games under the belt, I feel like it's going to be them. Gonna have to make some improvements, some adjustments here and there, but it's certainly doable for them. They're here for a reason, and we'll just have to wait and see as we throw to a quick break, and then when we're back, we'll get into game number 2. Don't go anywhere. All right, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. I listen, Rick. I had to put the cans on for this one, man. It's getting too heated. It's getting too crazy up on the Rift this time around. But we're about ready to send it draft for game number 2, which could possibly be the final game of this series. And already, Rector, we're hearing that sides had not been swapped. I feel like that's quite surprising.
You know, listen, every time I write something down, things start happening differently. I talk about a team having like a 7-2 record from the red side and actually being better than the blue side record, and then everybody loses on red side. And then I talk about blue side being OP and people lose on blue side. I don't know, but I guess like I could see it from the sense that York University is the number 1 seed. They understand how they want to play the game, and they had a very clear vision going into game 1. Having that R5 counterpick and having opportunities to counterpick solo lanes is super intelligent and something that's great in giving him the matchups that they wanted. They saw Benjani was able to get a kill early on in the lane, but then Joksho Orn just becomes unkillable, knowingly just tanks the entire team. And the same thing for Myodrag in the sense that they had a little bit of a rough time in the early laning phase, but as the game progressed, they just become more and more of a challenge to defeat. Bot lane was constantly winning in the 2v2, so maybe they feel better with the malleability that they have on the red side.
Yeah, I think bot lane, a great place to focus. No flame, but I don't want to see that Senna build coming out once again. It was a cool idea. You know, it's always nice to see him kind of tinker with sort of, you know, new ways to play the game, new ways to play around it. It just wasn't the move, because I feel like every single team fight we talked about just this lack of substantial sustainable damage coming through from an ADC, like we saw over on the side of York University Black with the now the name slips my mind. I'm making this grand point. How embarrassing. Navarus, thank you. This is why you're here, to catch me when I fall.
I'll be your safety net, buddy. And yeah, it is exactly that. Like you said, as we're gonna get a little bit of a run back, it is Dragon Min Kim on the Hecarim again. But some different side lane options, right? The thing that is remained the same is that both the top and jungle love Ravenous Hydra and are probably gonna first item it once again.
Definitely so. No shocker if that ends up coming through. Just a lot of Ravenous Hydra enjoyers. I dabble a little bit in it too sometimes. I enjoy it too. So, you know, all respect there. But we are seeing some new picks coming out, which have been brought to us because there are some new bans as well, especially looking over at Fisher College, who have taken the Akali off the board in that first rotation of bans through here. So we saw the Azir pickup, and in comparison as well, the Xerath. So completely new dynamic in this mid lane.
Yeah, and that Xerath was the counter pick into the Azir. Azir picked on R4, and then the Serenog Xerath picked up as the last pick on the blue side. So looking to utilize and match range to be able to kind of poke out Azir, who was, you know, given some nerfs way back when around the World's patch that kind of took away some of the early sustainability and nerfing their damage a little bit. Their get out of jail free card with that Stream of Shuffle, not nearly as much anymore. But now it is going to be an enchanter down there with Logia Phoenix on the Zillion. You know what we say, it's better to die twice than die once, and that Chrono Shift will keep you alive.
I mean, I'd prefer to not die at all, to be honest. That's just me personally. Take that, but you know, you've got a point. It is nice to die twice, have that extra chance. You don't even need the GA this time around, and we've already seen what Phoenix can do on the Sona, and so now what is on just an oppressive pick, it feels like just like the Sona with those bombs to poke coming through, and now the added sustainability he can give to his team as well. I'm already seeing it. Unawakened just sends it in. He's got the Chrono Shift on him. He's like, what are you gonna do, kill me?
Yeah, and more so than that, it also really is a direct answer to Dragon Min Kim. Congratulations, you have move speed, now it's gone. There's this like little like known thing that hasn't caught as much popularity, but it's something to keep in mind, is that Phoenix can just opt to actually max W, max the rewind first, and it gives a placebo ability haste where you can constantly kind of refresh your abilities and keep those slows going down, or in the other side, speed ups for Unawakened to be able to get in with that Cyclone and really get the damage down like we were talking about in the last game. But we have an Ashe now. We have hopefully an ADC.
Don't please,
here.
Please, Rector, don't curse it, man. Okay, just don't say anything. The Ashe is gonna. I'll say it. The Ashe is gonna build tons of damage. All right, no locket, no none of that. Just a lot of damage coming through, okay? That's what it's going to be. Trust me.
But that's the thing is even the normal ADC setup on Ashe is a supportive style champion. She is not a main carry. She is used for the fact that she has a ton of slows. She has the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. When you put her alongside Braum, you can run a bit more of an aggressive lane into this Varus, but nonetheless, she is not the main star of this show. So what that means to me is now you once again are in the position where Dragonman Kim has to do a ton of damage, has to be the main carry in these fights, and Camille has to win and has to be able to play side lane. But they're once again into Knowing's Ornn, into the Jock Show Menace himself.
Yeah, and it was, I feel like that was also just kind of a down point for them, right? The fact that they had to rely on Dragonman Kim constantly. Benji as well, who was doing his damnedest, right? But it just felt like he was just a little bit behind in comparison to Dragonman Kim. And so you kind of felt that once Dragonman Kim did fall, sometimes Benjamin was kind of able to clean up, but especially in that last fight where he was just, I mean, my man was like, fighting to the end, absolutely respectable, commendable, right? That he was just like fighting tooth and nail, running back into base, buying GA, coming back out, fighting, being revived, trying to fight some more. But I'm just a little worried that if they can't get them on the field faster this time around in comparison to game number 1, that we're just going to kind of see like a rerun coming through.
Yeah, it does feel a little bit like the run back when we talk about the architecture of these compositions. And it was very 50-50. So maybe it was just, for the side of Fisher College saying, hey, it's just really a run back. We just need to execute better on our composition, and we can do well because they have a lot of pick potential in this.
Just do better, Fivehead. Just play better.
Literally, I mean, sometimes that's the answer, right? You just have to execute better and not overstay your welcome or make those decisions. Really, like we talked about, it was that Dragon Soul point where the side of York University said, we're just going to run it down mid and force you to answer us. And they answered too late and they lose an inhibitor for it. They didn't get the soul, but the soul ended up not mattering in the context of the game because they were able to just end before it became an issue for them. So it really does come down to, can York University, or not York University, Fisher College get something out of their bottom lane that they didn't get last game? Can they get priority? Can they get some winning 2v2s or 3v2s with some ganks from DMK to set them up to be the one who are taking Drake first, who are on the front foot and being able to use their comp proactively as opposed to reactively?
Definitely so. And I mean, on the flip side of that, right, maybe they just look to kind of run it back from game number 1, have the same sort of idea, the same architecture like we talked about. Then I feel the question becomes, can they sort of secure themselves a spot in this bot lane? Because game number 1, right, it was constant ganks in that bot lane, especially early game. There was just nothing that Topo and the rest of the gang could do, right, over and over and over and over and over again. We kept seeing Unawakened just send it down to that bot lane. They take them out and put them on such a back foot that it almost felt like it just, by the time they were able to come back ahead with some items, it was just too little too late.
Yeah, too little too late. And we talked about the items. The items are also, like, there's a huge difference in buying a Locket and buying a Kraken Slayer.
Yeah, definitely so here. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're on the Rift. You can see the number 1 next to York University Black's little icon there means they did pick up that first game, which means that now that this is a best of 3, they need one more game to secure themselves a spot in the final, the NECC finals. About that, but Fisher College, even though their backs are up against the wall and they got to win 2 games back to back, they've shown us that they have what it takes. Now they just need to execute. We're seeing some adjustments, some improvements like we mentioned we wanted to see before we went to that quick break after game number 1. Can they execute is the question.
The execution is what it's going to come down to here as we do some pings coming down there next to Logia on the Varus. Does have the cleanse. Gonna have to use that very intelligently because the concussive blows from the Braum stacking up 1 stun, and once they hit level 6, that Enchanted Crystal Arrow able to kind of set up a trap to say, if you use your cleanse at the wrong time, we're going to have kill threat no matter what. So it's going to be definitely interesting. Braum Ashe can be a very oppressive Freljordian lane to go against.
Yeah, a lot of things to cleanse as well, right? Like you mentioned, the exhaust, the ignite. Really got to wonder what's your pick your poison basically. What do you not want? You get one thing. What do you not want? We'll have to wait and see though. As for now, once again, we've got both junglers passing opposite ways. Unawakened looking to send it down to that bot lane. Very reminiscent of game 1 Regdor, where we saw Unawakened do that over and over again. The question is, will the results be the same?
Yeah, I hope for the side of Fisher College that the results are not the same. And a big part of this is the fact that it is DMK going away from the bottom lane. And that is incredibly important because this is the lane that does need something, needs help, has setup for you. Benjani should win the early game on their own here on the top side of the map. And in mid lane feels like they're just throwing stones from tower to tower, so I don't know how much interaction you're actually going to get.
Well, support shift coming through here. Sword Blue gonna be the one on the table this time around. Top no longer, so we're gonna have to wait and see if Sword Blue can make something happen. In the mid lane though, already a drag pretty damn low. Serenok, the tail is cold this time. Gonna assert dominance early on in this lane before these junglers can start putting their feet down into it. So he's got a little bit of time. But regardless, bot lane is I thought Regdor bot lane's looking pretty much the same as game 1. I'm a little worried.
You know, it's a little early on. You got to give them some time to warm up here in the matchup, but they're taking a little bit less sort of damage along the way here. At least Sword Blue now on this Braum has a little bit of agency to get some things done, as Benjani already looking at tower plates, but
looking
he's still a little too far.
Yeah, he might have been on more than he gets you. There has to be careful. Gets the passive Proctor, so he should be okay. Getting a bit of damage down onto Knowing as well, but Knowing is just waiting, looking for that opportunity. Bellows Press does get dropped, but ultimately not gonna go for anything just yet. Benjani hopefully to just bait him out a little further. That DMK make something happen, and they might have found it. Gonna get that stun up, nicely done. Flash onto the turret. Is it gonna be enough though? First blood does come through, but it will only be a 1-for-1. DMK is gonna get out of that one safe.
Yeah, it is first blood going over to Knowing as opposed to DMK there. It was a one-way trip, and I'm sure Benjani kind of knew that, but was hoping that the kill went through and that extra gold went over to the side of Fisher College. Sadly, it did not, though, as we got Sword Blue off the reset here, tanking up some damage, trying to stop this wave from crashing, but it'll crash nonetheless.
Indeed it will. Back's coming through here, no doubtably. You're probably looking for that serrated, maybe. You never know. We've been seeing that quite a bit, but with that tempo, obviously, so much. Your trade still in this top lane, regardless, though. Knowing wants some payback here. I mean, technically he got his payback, but he just wants more, I should say.
Yeah, I was gonna say he got to pay out, not pay back. You know, he got the kill first.
True.
As Mira Drag takes another strong trade here, using that shield from the E to get a little bit up in the trade out here. As you can see, Serenok not looking the best for wear.
Uh-oh, he just hit him. He gave him the emo buff, man. He popped the emote, and now, look, you've got just all these sharks in the water here looking to capitalize. Unawakened is here, so is Phoenix, though. A lot of damage comes through, and the bomb will seal the deal. Down he goes. Flash over the wall from Sword Blue to stay alive, but ultimately, nothing he can do but watch. Serenok falls.
Serenok will fall. There was a control ward there that spotted out Sword Blue on the plate. I'm not sure that he saw it or not, but Serenok's going to have to burn the TP to get back, and that's a nice little level up there from the passive on Zillion.
Only so here. Unfortunate. That pick does go into the hands of Phoenix, though. Not exactly the main member you want to give it to, as Serenok here using that Rite of Arcane. Rite of Passage to see if he can maybe stop that recall coming through here from my drag, but he's so lucky. Regardless, though, 1-2 at the moment. Here's some good showings coming out from both teams, but so far we're seeing it feels a bit of a repeat once again from game 1, right? This bot lane got shoved in, and a lot of ganks in this mid lane. Now we just need some ganks in the spot lane, but Sword Blue and Enthralled are looking to change things up. Maybe get a kill here. The tempo is fully stacked up for Logia. Concussive blow do get dropped, though, which will allow them to back off.
And that was quite the aggressive move from Sword Blue moving forward, and Brawl not in a place to help follow up on those contested blows. And once again, Benjini just getting beat up under the enemy tower while they're trying to get off that proc of the demolition.
I stepped up. Those first 3 procs of concussive blows on top of them. DMK's here, but so is Unawakened as well. It's about to be a 3-on-3 in this bot lane, Rector. This is going to be determining. This is what we talked about, but we want to see the ADCs are going to go 1-for-1, though. They will equalize. And now, Unawakened has to be careful. He has that bomb on him, so ultimately doesn't want to go in too far. Bit of damage coming through, but they're just too close to this turret to make anything happen.
Yeah, don't have too many items online here. Just those Lucidity boots for DMK. Looking to scale up a bit. Just has a yard sale in the inventory at the moment. And this has been a much quieter, dead even in gold early game than the last one, where it was DMK and Serenok who found themselves on a bit of a tear and were able to make things happen early on in the map. This time, however, a lot more stable, like game 2s kind of are. You feel like game 1 should be where they feel it out, but game number 2 is where they kind of slow down a bit.
Yeah, this is like where they start limit testing. Let's see what we can kind of do. What can we get away with? Game 1 was just, send it straight up. But I'm not complaining. That's all. I am not complaining about how game number 1 went. I want game number 2 to be just as close, just as enticing, and I have a feeling we're going to get to see it as some trades going on in this mid lane. Bit of back and forth, hit each other there. Too much, as we do see some pings though on Dragon, and it is on it, so we get that early first Dragon take coming through here.
And this is what we wanted to see out of the side of Fisher College, and that is early priority over objectives and being the one who can be proactive. Now, if they can seal the deal on Drake number 2, well, then they're in a real position that forces York University to come to them. And be able to use this pick comp as intended.
Speaking of coming towards them, though, very nicely done. But once again, just going to go 1-for-1 here in this bot lane. Phoenix is going to make sure that his ADC doesn't die in vain. The bomb does still go off and takes him out. But I'm liking this newfound aggression coming through from Enthralled and Sword Blue. They pick this, like you mentioned, really oppressive Freljordian combo. And they're utilizing it really well. They are not afraid to just throw some punches out there, and so far, it's been working out decently well for them.
Pickaxes and longswords do a lot more damage than the Aegis of Legion and a Kindle Gem. So, love to see it coming out, and it's important that the kill did go to Phoenix and not to Logia, because now it is 2-2 and almost even in CS here. It's Unawakened in a bad spot.
I was about to say, looking to get some more 2-on-2s here on the map. Unawakened with the flash over the wall to stay alive. Rasco to get back over. It's unscathed, but Benji says no, you will not escape. Down he goes. Meanwhile in this bot lane, Sword Blue, incredibly low. Phoenix looking for something, and they are going to find the piercing arrow from Logia over the wall. Takes him out. And this top lane knowing, trying to get Benji. He took quite a few turret shots. But Misha's here as well, looking to seal the deal. A double kill for Mayo Drag. It's too easy.
The Shurima Shuffle, or rather just the Emperor's Divide, able to get so much done there. And also on the bottom side, that's another kill picked up by Enthralled, able to get Phoenix support for support taken on the bottom side. In the midst of all this, Serenok also got a solo kill on Mayo Drag at one point. Everybody's fighting everywhere right now. The directed cam are a wonderful observer. Great job on them, but it is so hard to keep up with all of the action that's happening here on the map. They do not want to give an inch anywhere.
Yeah, going back and forth with Logan. Be very careful. Pops the cleanse, but it doesn't matter. Enthralled picks up that kill. He's saying, listen, remember what you did to me in game number 1. I'm gonna give it right back to you.
4-2 now. And a big thing that you can point out here is you saw that Logia tries to cleanse the slow, but everything slows in this bottom lane. You're getting debuffed constantly and consistently. And with Sword Blue's ability to be so aggressive with that jump up, able to just tank so much damage and actually get this down, that it does feel more reminiscent of game 1 for the side of Fisher College, but now with a more proactive bottom lane.
So, considering that's one of those main talking points that we had that we wanted to see improve, it's a good showing for Fisher College. Is now this time around, 11 minutes in, everything's incredibly equalized. The gold as well is on their side, and the kills are in favor of Enthralled. 4-2 at the moment already, and he's building damage just like I prophesied, Richter. There we go. We love to see it.
Yeah, no, you called it. Looking like they're going to get to that Kraken Slayer here shortly. And this is the second neutral objective now going over to the side of Fisher College. And this is what we want to see, their ability to be proactive, to force the side of York University to have to walk into them around objectives, and to be able to use this pick style comp that we already saw how it worked up there on the top side with Benjani getting down the Hextech protocol.
Hextech ultimatum, yeah.
Sorry, I just died on the inside there to stabilize these picks, but now he's in a 2v1.
Same might be said here for Benjani as well, who pops the Hextech ultimatum once again. PGK is here though, looks for something. Does come out there though, knowing is getting lower and lower, but he's known for not dying. Look at that. Damage comes through, they'll find themselves unawakened and the right of the arcane to clean up.
Not only do they get to clean up on the top side, but not even a single thing taken by Meodrag in the mid lane. Tried to get some push onto the tower, but able to rotate right back because he only had to walk shortly into the river.
He does, gonna use that soldier to dash over the wall there. Was in a tricky spot. It's able to get out. That would have just been, I would say, the icing on the cake, but it's not a good sense for them. If Meodrag would have died as well, it would have been, I can't even think like of a good analogy for it. It wouldn't have been good. That's what I'm trying to say. It would have not been good.
Would have been spilt milk.
There we go. There we go. Thank you.
Your cupcake already got taken. Their lunch money has been procured.
Indeed. Forcibly removed here. It's been taken away from them as the Rift Herald is going to crash on in as well, giving them even more gold into the hands of Dragon Min Kim, as well as Sarah Knock there. Sword Blue and Phoenix just kind of going to pass by. He's like, hey, what's up? What's up? Supports, what's up?
So important to note there, not to call out just a player's unluckiness, but that was the Emperor's Divide used to try to pull in Serenok, and it was unsuccessful in the process. So that's a key cooldown that's going to be gone. This Drake is online, and it's going to be a fight, I think.
I hope so. I definitely do hope so. A lot of pings coming out on top of them. They have the ward there. They know how low it is, but I don't think they make it there in time. No, they don't. Down the drag goes. So York University is just going to scatter. And what they can do, they're still on that ward there at the moment. So the Crystal finds it. Right of the arcane, looking to find Meodrag. Won't quite get it though. Still looking for him. Finds it. He's a sniper. Nicely done. Down he goes. Ownership is going to keep him alive a little bit longer. But will it matter is the question. And the answer is no. A double kill for Dragon Min Kin. Looking to make it a triple here now on Phoenix, who doesn't have his ulti available. But with no wave there, it's risky, very risky. Don't want to give any gold on over. Just going to apply some pressure, and Phoenix is just going to go ahead, start the recall animation. The slow comes through, and now DMK looking to go on and get slowed down, though. They're sending all the resources. He'll go down, but he'll take two with him. Oh, no. The TP. Run and Thrall.
Oh,
run.
No.
Run and Thrall.
Run, my friend.
Run, my boy, run. Meodrag is chasing him down, flash forward, and takes him out. The shutdown comes through, and a play that looked like it was going to go completely in Fisher College's favor has just been turned around completely.
Yeah, but there's another ult. Gonna go a bit wide. Benjani able to just walk out. Did not pick up the call for the Forge Gods. Here, no one home. New phone number. Who this? And yeah, that's 3 kills on the bottom side after what was a great team fight there after the Drake. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow setting up the play so well as that Right of the Arcane. But now you can see just the precision protocol on Benjani doing so much damage. He has about 7 longswords in his inventory right now, so doing a bit of damage.
Indeed he is. Yeah, real unfortunate that that control ward was just chilling in the bush. So much vision on all the members of York University. They just look to clean up in Fisher College already. A much more commanding performance coming through in game number 2 in comparison to game number 2, and they're reminiscent of last game once again. Another Hextech soul coming through as Logia. He just barely stays alive.
Oh, it's such a great call by Serenok. Do not kill the chrono-shifted individual. Just waste the cooldown. Oh my.
Wow. What was that damage? Can he find the Arcano Pulse? Almost.
No, but they're both so low health, they cannot stick around. Yeah, they gotta run away here as they're applying so much pressure over this mid-tier 2. No wave there to be able to pressure him more. But nonetheless, one of the biggest things here is that knowing cannot get involved. Because Benjani is such a side lane threat, as another Enchanted Crystal Arrow will hit. No follow-up on it, though. because they're such a side lane threat, they cannot group with their team. So this Jock Show is going Jock Show-less at the moment because they're not able to make it over to these team fights. And otherwise, they're pretty darn squishy.
Indeed, they are here. A lot of damage coming through from Serenok already. 3-1, 2 items, 7 stacks. He's got everything under the sun. But they're looking to find him. He has no HP, unfortunately. Down he goes. Very nice wombo comp with the ultis coming through. And now they're looking to move on to this mid tier 1 here. Dragonman Kim, nothing he can do but watch as it falls, and Thrall's here as well. But there's nothing that they can do. Down it goes.
Down it goes, and the Sun Disc rises here as Shurima looks to take a little bit more real estate on Summoner's Rift. That is the Leandry's Torment done on Meodrag, who you can see is starting to do a bit of damage in their own right. Is kind of one of the bigger hyperscaling options here for the team in terms of DPS.
And Jimmy jumping into, I don't know if it was the move, jumping into a fight he didn't think was going to be a 2-on-1, and he's about to go down accordingly. He thought he was that guy, but he was in fact not. Down he goes. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, DMK grabbing himself one, and now waiting for his second kill. Foaming at the mouth. And actually, oh my god, Serenok ended up a kill himself. And just like that, York University Black is wiped off the map once again.
That was a real Kobe kind of moment there. Just from downtown, hits the swish on the Unawakened. And really, this is what is sort of the difference here. Is we've got a little bit more long range engage. We have a bit more single target burst damage. And furthermore, it's the biggest thing that we talked about. The biggest weak point was the bottom lane of Fisher College. And let me tell you, they're nothing like weak now as they take down a tier 2.
Full 180 coming through. We're a little worried, and our fears were not, we really should have been. We should not have doubted Enthralled. Enthralled said, listen, man, trust me. Game 1, bit of a fluke, just testing out some new tech. Put it back in the workshop. We'll come back another time, see if it works any better. For now, we're going to play things by the book. They've been doing a great job. They have been studying the manual, and they're doing a great job right now. 5-3-5 at the moment as a crack player. Going for that Bork, almost completed as well. They've been absolutely dominating this bot lane. Now, they're going to look for something here in this river. Flash forward from Phoenix to make sure he stays alive. As Sword Blue is going to spook him off.
And that was the Chains of Corruption used. Big tool that they need with this Drake being up. This is number 2 in the game, able to go 1-for-1 earlier on. But how do you approach? How do you walk up to Fisher College as they begin to take down Chemtech Drake?
That's the question. Do they have the answer? I'm not sure they do. Gonna call the Forge God on in, but Drake gonna go down to the hands of Fisher College. Meanwhile, though, Benjini getting lower and lower as they section him out and take him down accordingly. A lot of low HP bars. Unawakened does go down. Sword Blue doing his damage to tank. And look at the free fire from Enthralled. Look at the damage from DMK as he picks up a triple kill. And Enthralled finishes it off. Never mind. That goes over to DMK as well.
You ever seen a flying horse before? Because I just saw one pick up a quadra kill. Is going to throw down Shelly here in the bottom lane. And you can see the discipline from Fisher College. Unawakened is unabated in the backline, essentially, of their team, but is 1 HP and has the chrono shift. So they just walk right past him. They say, do not damage him. Let hit that wear off. Then they take him down, and then they're able to just walk right past knowing and take out the rest of the team. Off of that, they should be able to get that tier 2 in the bot lane, able to pick up the Drake, and now they get to pressure Baron. They're the ones who have the control. As you can see, they're already setting up the vision line to make sure they can come at this from whatever angle they want.
Indeed, they are here. Also, great job from Sword Blue, making sure Enthralled was just able to free fire. You saw the moment he had that lethal tempo stacked up, no one was escaping him. Everyone went down as Unawakened. That War 3 members getting spotted out here once again. Benji just going to be chilling for now. Scouting out. Baron is up and available. The pressure is there to take it, but looks like Fisher College is going to opt to get these lanes pushing first.
Great call, because the worst thing you can do is lose the team fight and have lanes just shoving in on all 3 sides.
Yeah.
They do the simplistic thing first, and that is get our lane states prioritized, get them to a point where we do have a bit of a timer to play on. And one of the biggest tools they're going to have is the fact that Meodrag has that TP available, as well as knowing they can play on their side lanes and know that if any play goes down, they can TP to the action and be there to even up the odds.
TP's up. More importantly, you know what's up though, Rector? Grabbing his Hydras, baby. 3 of them on the Rift already. 2 members coming through here for the side of Fisher College. And 1, once again, on Unawakened. Let's see if they can utilize it even more than last game. Benjini falling behind a little bit, however, has been taking a couple of fights that he just isn't able to win. Been getting focused out in some of these team fights, but he's been buying so much time for his team to get the job done as DMK maybe looking for Unawakened here, looking to dash on top of him, slows him down with the smite, but Unawakened able to escape on over the wall here. Show does get popped here. He's just looking for everyone. Oh, what was that damage coming through? So much. Chunks Unawakened incredibly low. They're just keeping him. No way he gets this. Chrono Shift got popped. Waiting for him to get back up. Doesn't quite time it right though, and the heal would have been too much for it anyway. So Unawakened is going to stay alive for now. Can I say the same for Benjini is the question. They've got 3 to 4 members on their way down to kill this man. Oinhorn going to get popped. Hook shot, though. Not going to be able to dodge the knock up there. They find the chains. No, they don't. Flash over the wall for Benjini. The TP coming through the meanwhile because they need to get over to that Baron. Unawakened just barely staying alive here. Needs to sidestep this Q coming through. Will indeed. Stays alive for now. Can he turn the tables now that Serenok has a lot of cooldowns? Finds the Cyclone, doing a lot of damage. Stocked up the Conqueror, though. Is it going to be enough? Is the question, and the answer is no. Down he goes. The Baron goes into the hands of Fisher College, and DMK is looking for some kills once again. A lot of damage coming out from Serenok, and DMK cleans up.
Oh, they got him chased into a corner, and you saw, like, they used Benjini to create the pressure on the bottom side of the map. They realized midway through the play that, oh crap, we need to go to the Baron. But at that point, Unawakened, almost taken out of the fight, has to walk away from it, and the double TPN just ends up being a death trap for them. So not only do they win out on the bottom side because Benjini doesn't die, but they also win out on the top side because they get 4 kills and the Baron in the process.
Indeed. Got everything that they wanted and more. Beautifully executed there. But now they need to start pushing. We're reminiscent of what we saw in game 1, right? Where they got that Baron, but they had no lanes to actually push with it. Right now, kind of no push for them once again. Need to start pushing these lanes up. We're seeing TPs come through as they're going to look to collapse on the Phoenix as well as Logia here, who were looking for something, have been spotted out. Find the stun, find the damage as well. Gonna offer Logia first here. Big Phoenix watch, right of the arcane gets dropped. Not quite gonna find the targets. There we go. They find one. Chrono Shot's been applied, and Chrono Shot's been taken away. So has Logia's HP bar. Down he goes. Come on, Dragonman Kim. Give some kills to the rest of the boys here. You have enough.
No. It's all gold all day. It is the horse show. We saw what happened earlier with that quadra kill. Phoenix able to get out with his life. And they try to do this cheeky thing.
Oh my god! Enthralled, you monster! How did you do that?
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, walking in straight lines can be dangerous for your health. Do it on the road, drive in your own lane, but if you're on Summoner's Rift, try to be a little shifty in the pocket. As Enthralled is able to find it from downtown there to pick up that kill. Now 7-3. And they're now getting to apply the pressure. It was the cheeky play on the top side to try to take the wave away from Serenok that ends up slowing them down. But now they pick up another Drake on Soul Point and are looking to pick up this tier 3 as well.
It does here. Tier 3 not looking very healthy, not looking long for this world, and neither is Logia, as well as DMK looks to just send it on it. A lot of CC coming through, though. Has been on that turret incredibly long. Jock Show has been popped, but it's not going to be enough. The shutdown comes through, and it goes into the hands of knowing this might be the turnaround that they're looking for. Serenok running away with his life just barely. Unawakened was looking for something, but all he's going to find is that gray screen. Next up, Logia on the list here. Flash forward. Crystal Arrow finds its mark. Once again, the damage comes through, and they find the kill. Oh my god! Serenok, you monster! Absolutely beautifully done. They might just look to end it right here, right now. They got the picks, and they're starting up these Nexus turrets. Not a lot of minions left, and Knowing is here. This time around, Knowing is the new Benjini. Has to hold the line here. He finds the first pick onto Enthrall. Getting sunned up quite a bit. A lot of damage comes through. He's healing so much from Jock Show, but it's about to be a Jock. No! Down he goes. Sword Blue stays alive, and just like that, Fisher College are going to game number 3. As long as they can kill the Nexus here, which they're actually not going to. And honestly, I respect it, because TPs are coming through, and they need to get out of the base pronto. go. Oh, I don't think Sword Boo's long for this world. No, he's not. Down he goes. Benjini runs, and now Serenok is on the retreat. Flash from Unawakened to dodge that. Yo, okay, my man is sidestepping, bobbing and weaving right now. He took your advice to heart, Regdor. Don't walk in a straight line, and now they're looking to find Serenok. Just a little bit more damage will seal the deal. Gets stunned, though. Gets taken out. Oh my god, it is Comet Diff. No way Serenok actually walks away from that. This is absolute insanity. The fights continue, though we're still not done because now Logia has found himself in a terrible position, and Benjini cleans up.
To be clear, Serenok did not walk away. He floated away, sir. He is, I think, an Ascendant. I think that's what it is.
No way, dude. He's still here. Crystal land? I think it landed. The Crystal might have hit. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It looking pretty low here. Oh, my God. Dragon
the game's going to be over here shortly. Yeah. They continue to be able to run rough shot. The sun just may not be enough.
Dude, Dragon Min Kim, man, is cleaning up. Give this guy a mop instead of the, like, weird axe sword he's got. Because he's cleaning up left, right, and center here. He's on a 1v1 with Unawakened, but Unawakened is no match for him. Down he goes, you lowly imbecile. Dragon Min Kim is hitting the Nexus right now. A 2-on-1. Has to back off. But Enthralled is here, so Dragon Min Kim just has to buy time. Never mind. He just needs to pad his KD some more. Find some more damage. Find some more kills. They're going to take out Knowing as well. He's going to retreat into the Nexus, and he heals a bit too much. Goes gold, but it doesn't matter because Fisher College is going to game number 3.
They pulled a real Michael Jordan meme there where he said, like, I took that personal, because game number 2, they showed up with all the bells and whistles. Dragonman Kim shows how explosive of a pick this Hecarim can be, and Enthralled hit the ADC button. He hit it hard.
He did a whole 3, not just even a 180. He did like a full 720. I wouldn't even say 360 because you'd be looking the same way, but he was like, listen, boys, let me show you how to play ADC. And it was a masterclass. Like, I mean, so much damage. We talked about how that was such a pivotal point, and especially game number 1 that they were lacking substantial damage coming through. Game number 2, they listened to us. It's almost like you know what you're talking about, Regdor. They do exactly what we wanted them to do. And Enthralled, man. I mean, American Sniper, my man, 100%, almost 100% crystal arrow shot rate. Chef's kiss, honestly.
And it was that long-range engage mixed with the long-range damage of Serenok, who was like the Kobe Bryant, like, from the line. The man was hitting every one of them. And that was so incredibly important because people were getting way low HP. People were not able to make these setups that they were looking for because they could just reach out a little bit farther and touch you before you could initiate the fights. And that really set up well for Benjini, for Dragonman Kim, to be able to get onto them and add that After Effects CC and add in that damage and just be so proactive around objectives that York University did not get an opportunity to play the game.
Absolutely. I think that's, if anything, if a word can kind of summarize this whole thing, it's just proactive, right? Proactivity versus reactivity. Game number 1 felt like Fisher College was so incredibly reactive, couldn't really get anything done. Game number 2 rolls around. They say, listen, we're going to run this game. They do exactly that. They secure themselves game number 3, and that means that their spot in the finals is very much still alive. So that also means that we're going to throw it to a quick break, and then when we're back, we'll get into the draft for game number 3, baby. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We're back. Regdor. It is my favorite time of the night. Because all chips are on the table now, man. We are going to game number 3. In case you haven't been here for the absolutely just epic game 1 and 2 that have just occurred, you're going to have to watch the VOD. I can't even summarize everything that happened, but I can tell you, it'll be well worth the watch. And now that does mean that we are in game number 3. Winner takes all. Winner moves on to the finals. All chips are on the table. The pressure has mounted, Regdor.
Yeah, I do want to do that fun thing you asked me a time where it's like explain something in like 5 words less, and like all I can say is like ravenous hydra, go burr, horse. That's the 5 words. And I think that's the linchpin here, and that is the jungle focus going into this last game. We do know that York University has swapped sides. They read the background. They said, okay, blue side OP, let's move over there and try to get this last win because they're the number 1 seed. They're the ones who had a bye coming into this semifinals match, and they're getting pushed here. And a lot of that is coming out of DMK in the jungle, creating so much pressure and putting so much kill threat on their carries that they've got to find an answer fast.
Yeah, they're getting pushed, shoved, yeeted. I can't even think of more action words for that because it has just been absolutely intense. These 4th seed bozos are coming in here trying to take our spot, boys. We got to do something about this, right? Because Fisher College, Boston, man, they did not come to play. They came to dominate, and they have been looking incredibly dominant, especially in game number 2. And you're right. Some kind of answer has to come out from York University Black. Game 1 was looking incredibly well, but it kind of felt like it was more just their game to lose, mainly because the bot lane was just so, it didn't feel right. I think we all kind of saw it coming, and then the moment that Fisher College sort of corrected that error, boom, everything looked amazing. Everything looked incredibly good. They knew exactly what the game plan was, and so now it's really up to York if they have an answer to that or if they're just going to fall apart.
Yeah, that is really the thing, is that it's been calcified. It has been solidified here for the side of Fisher College of what their means to win the game have been, and that is playing around objectives, having proactivity. Like we said, that was the action word for game number 2, being proactive and making things happen and having the priority to do so in the early game. And now it kind of comes to York is the one who's found wanting. What can you do to slow them down, and what can you do to make the difference here as we're going to get into draft soon and really try to see, like, where are the priorities going to be at? Do we get a switch up in the jungle? Do we get a ban towards Hecarim? Do we have something that says we're not going to just try to run it back for a 3rd time?
Yeah, and I think the fact that you just brought up Hecarim is huge because I feel like 2 of these words that we've been repeating on this cast so far has been blue side and Hecarim as well. And I'm looking over at York University Black, right, who have opted to swap on over to the blue side. That kind of whispers to me a little bit that maybe they're looking to grab themselves the Hecarim first pick instead and not letting Fisher College have it, because we've seen even in game 1 when Fisher College still ended up taking the L, Dragon Min Kim was still looking pretty damn scary on the Hecarim, and game number 2 when everything came to fruition the way they wanted it to, he was unstoppable.
Yeah, but if I'm Fisher College, it's my toy or nobody's. Like, I will ban that out just so you don't get to be wanted. Because, like, a lot of the answers into Hecarim, I don't think are really too meta at the moment. And because of the changes on Orb of Dread, the thing that brought him back into the meta originally, with that stacking MR and AD, while you're also getting lifesteal during the process, that just makes him very, like, he takes up a lot of space. He's a large champion, kind of like Swain. Regardless if he's 0-6 or 6-0, he's still a pain to try to deal with in the context of the draft, in the context of the game, as we now get to see what is York University going to do now on the blue side.
Indeed, that is the question. The final draft of tonight is underway already. Yumi off the board. Don't want to see it, getting that out of here. Guys, there, it's been a staple ban for these last 2 games beforehand. Going to be a staple ban for this game as well. And I'm really curious, as I just got an ad block ad for whatever reason. Get that out of here. I'm trying to see the draft. What's going on around here? I'm trying to see what Fisher College is going to look to take off the table. Like we mentioned, right, if it's not your toy, it's nobody's toy. Are they going to look to take the Hecarim right off the bat? But they're going to wait a little bit. Take the Evelyn off the bat first. Want to get that out of there.
Yeah, Evelyn still a scary champion, and really they are running back just the past two bans so far. It is always interesting to see Yumi being banned out on the blue side, but nonetheless, they just said, hey, nobody's gonna play the cat today, as it is Graves, and now the all-important question. Are we going to get a B1 Hecarim or a banned Hecarim? And it's a banned Hecarim. Fisher College said either I play it or nobody does. I love
to see it. Listen, if they can't have it, no one's allowed to ban it right out. Don't want to see it on the Rift. And so instead, York University going to use that all-important first pick here for the blue side to lock in the Aatrox, a very staple top fighting pick that we always love to see, because that always means there's going to be some action in that top lane.
And this was a counter pick. It was the Jax who's picked on R4, and so knowing is picking this Aatrox, a carry versus carry matchup here in the top lane. Meanwhile, it's going to be the Viego, the Heartbreaker himself here for DMK. I don't know if he can build Ravenous Hydra, but I'm sure DMK knows the answer to that one.
Honestly, I'm sure he probably could. I could see a universe where that happens, and I mean, at this point, Ravenous Hydra is just such a staple for Dragonman Kim. It feels like he kind of has to. Like, he has to at this point. There's no way he doesn't. But regardless, we are seeing the return of the Akali actually this time around, coming in from Mayo Dragon. We got to saw that in game number 1 where it was looking incredibly sturdy. And so we're going to see it once again going up against the Syndra.
Yeah, and Syndra, as we've talked about in the past series and over the past few weeks, continues to be this strong scaling pick. And especially when you talk about Viego in a composition, Viego requires things for him to be effective. One of them is lockdown. The other thing is single target burst damage to be like corpse generator. And Syndra does both of those things for the jungle mid 2v2. And he also has Jax up in the top lane with the counter strike and the leap to be able to set up for him as well. So he has two incredibly strong solo lanes for DMK to work in tandem with. That's really giving him everything that he wants in these team fights to become Akali, to become Wukong, to become Aatrox in these fights. That's a scary composition there for Fisher College.
They've got all that right, though, but you're forgetting one integral piece. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow coming out from Enthrall here that we've been seeing going absolutely crazy in game number 2. He's got the Ashe once again. I'm a little, I would say I'm a little surprised that the Ashe got through, but I just feel like there's honestly just so many picks that Enthrall could have gone with if the Ashe was banned, so it's not that surprising that it wasn't taken off the board. And so I guess they just feel like Karma Caitlyn, one of these very standard sort of shove lanes, is going to be the answer. They're hoping that that's going to be the answer.
Yeah, and what's interesting as well is actually, so Caitlyn was picked after Ashe showed, and depending on who you talk to, generally speaking, Ashe is a semi-counter, is like a soft counter to Caitlyn. Because of the slows, it makes it to where you're able to trade back. Ashe has a slightly shorter attack range, but because of the slow on the volley, allows you to trade back and kind of neutralize a lot of Caitlyn. And then when you put Renata next to it, it's kind of a similar concept to Braum, is where really good with that handshake to actually hold him in place and be able to get down, the Archer's mark from Ashe and be able to trade a bunch of damage. But this is a shoving bot lane for York. This is the Karma Caitlyn lane. We've talked about it a number of times, and they want to push, which is going to line up pretty well with the fact that Unawakened has been pathing bot the past 2 games on the first rotation.
Yeah, and in comparison as well, right, DMK has always been pathing topside. So the question I feel this time around with this shoving bot lane from York, that gives a lot of opportunities for DMK to actually maybe try and go bot this time around. Look to path down there, get things started there early rather than just going top like the last 2 games.
Yeah, this is like jungle, like 4D chess, right? I've done the same thing the past 2 games. The enemy may expect me to continue to do the same thing and set something up against me. So do I not do the same thing, or do I do the same thing because they think there's no way that I could do the same thing again?
Do they know that I know that they know I know that they know that I know that I'm going to do the same thing? Maybe.
I'm the dude playing the dude who is the dude, right? Like, it's so many different layers, and it's something that I love in the sense that if I'm Fisher College, I actually want to play towards bottom side. I want to set Caitlyn Karma behind. The moment that they lose Flash, the moment that they lose Cleanse, they can no longer play this lane aggressively. They can no longer push, because now they're opening the door up to rotations and ganks. That just means they die on repeat. So I would love to see early interaction from the Viego, has the setup CC to work in tandem with the handshake, to work in tandem with the volley slows, and do all this to set behind Caitlyn Karma early on, because in isolation, the other two lanes should be pretty okay. It's kind of a cold war on the top lane, and the bottom and the mid lane is going to be pretty topsy-turvy. But I have a feeling that Serenok will find his way to sniping out some Scatter of the Weeks here.
Definitely. So I'm really curious because I feel like this top lane can be a bit of a coin flip, whether or not it's going to be just an all-out brawl lane, right? As we saw in game 1, third time's the charm. If you lose the first 2 times, third time you'll do it instead, right? Or if they're just going to kind of, handshake trades here and there, get a little bit of farm going, but we don't really see them pop off until we see these, 3-man fights, these full team-man fights for the objectives.
No, and I think that like Jax is in general is like the easier side to the matchup. A lot of times when we talk about like how Jax lanes go, it's all built around how they utilize the Counter-Strike in the leap. And I think that if you try to, as the Aatrox, go in with the Qs, get down the chains, he's able to Counter-Strike and just kind of neutralize the matchup. So a lot of that's going to be on the top lane to time it as Benjini to not use that vital cooldown. The only thing kind of stopping Aatrox from jumping in.
Definitely so here. Ultimately, I mean, volatility, we say it every single game, but honestly, every single game, it's just such a factor. Every single one of these lanes has proven to us that if they are given the resources, they can make things happen. We really can only wait and see as we are almost ready to get on the river, ladies and gentlemen. The final game is almost upon us, and right there, I was gonna ask you, looking at the drafts themselves, what are you feeling? But you know what? Hold that thought, because we're on the rift and we're getting things started. And this time around, it's 2 5-point setups. Makes me a little sad, but it is what it is.
Hey, it's tried and true, but it's actually a little bit less than a 5-point. We do have Sword Blue down here in the bottom lane trying to get that early wave control, and it looks as though Phoenix chose the same thing. So we'll probably see one of them recall and get a sweeper, if not both. And both
there's
did.
One, yeah.
So, yeah, there's the mirrored matchup. And here's the thing is that when you ask me, like, who do I think has the advantage kind of coming out of draft, initially I want to say Fisher College has a lot of great setup for the Viego to make this composition run. You have the Hostile Takeover, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, Scatter of the Week, Counter-Strike. You have all kinds of setup, burst and CC here from them. And that screams to me should go well. But we've seen Mirror Drag on the Sakali before. We saw what happens when they get rocking and rolling.
Thralled on the ward already, maybe looking to bait them in there, though. There's that Empower Q damage. Surely they knew that the ward was there. Ignite comes through, and an early first blood for Logia. Already, lot damage comes through here. Can they find the second? No, they cannot. And York University start game 3 off with a bang.
Yeah, they were 2 ships in the night, didn't know about the ward from one another, but it was enthralled that, was a bit enthralled of that level 1 damage coming through. The empowered mantra Qs doing so much here early on.
Absolutely, already. That's going to send Logia very far ahead there. Picking up that all as well has that longsword 3 pots sitting pretty on it. Love to see it. But going down, look at that already. Roman coming through from Phoenix. He's looking for something in this mid lane here, waiting for Myodrag to hit that level 2. Ward gets dropped down, but you should have warded the river instead. Slow does come through here, but a nice Scatter of the Week will keep Myodrag at a distance. Not going to find anything with the Shuriken there. A nice little attempt.
Oh, and Sword Blue doing a little bit of an invade as well. Looks like they might be able to try to catch out, but Unawakened is on the play.
Going to see if they can get some kind of info as to where Unawakened is. He's going to step on that ward that was placed in the Raptor pit now, though. So already, love to see it. Always good keeping track of the enemy jungler, making sure that you ever in a bad spot here. Now, interestingly enough, though, we'll say Dragonman Kim. Once again, even though we said they know that he knows that they know that he knows that he does the same thing every game, he's doing the same thing this game again. He's pathing top.
Yeah, we love to see it. And it's Jax who has Benjini just so much priority up here in the matchup. So I want to go back to the bottom lane because Logia picking up this call on the early reset, super interesting. You get 400 gold off of the first blood, so I would think they would opt for another longsword, but instead choosing to kind of have like some staying power. Instead of more all-in potential here. So it's definitely a little bit different thought process. We're going to have to see how it plays out because, once again, they are indeed getting to shove in the lane as they want to do, and they have Unawakened down there to hover.
Yeah, and I feel like that's why we kind of expected as well Dragonman Kim to actually move on down, because if he was just finishing up with his blue buff, he'd be in a pristine position to make something happen in that bot lane. Of course, Unawakened had a feeling something like that might come to pass, so he is down there in the river as well. Gonna grab himself that Scuttle Crab. As now it just feels like Dragonman Kim, really nothing for him to do in that top lane. Just kind of watches as Benjini gets a little bit of damage out on Knowing.
Yeah, there was no real setup for him, for Benjini to like let the wave start pushing into him to give him opportunity to work, as he's going to take the topside scuttle, come back up here, and is eventually just going to have to reset. So not a whole lot of proactivity being able to happen here, but he will be back down to the bottom side with that Gromp coming up for the second rotation.
We'll be here. Also really curious, man, Knowing. I see we've only known, I mean, there's just too many puns to be made there with that name, but regardless, we've really only known him to be on the Ornn, right, on this really tanky pick. Now they're kind of, you know, they're letting loose of the reins, right? They're letting them just have fun with it on a more, you know, fight heavy damage pick with the Aatrox. I'm really curious to see how he's going to perform, because so far he's just kind of been, you know, he's like, hey, I'll be tanking, I'll be throwing out these ultis, you know, you can try and kill me, but by the time you do, your whole team is dead. This time around, he's the one who says, I'm going to kill you over and over again.
Yeah, but it's going to be getting to that point as we see Sword Blue take a ton of damage, have to pop the exhaust there from Enthralled, and this is a little bit more akin to game number 1 with what is a commanding control over this bottom lane.
Definitely so. Here we talked about they're just going to shove this wave in. We're seeing exactly that. That first blood definitely not doing Enthralled any favors as well with the damage that comes out from it here, as they're already picking up plates. Dragonman Kim is just now finishing his rotation, and he's pathing upwards again. I just feel like it's such a missed opportunity. You could get so much done in this bot lane here.
You know, but one of the things is that it would have been a 2v2 versus a 2v3, which is what you love to see if you are indeed a math enjoyer. So he has to kind of just walk away from it, which I agree. Yeah, you cannot leave this just unfettered access to tower plating, to priority in the lane, because again, we saw what happens when Fisher College is forced to be reactive. It's not nearly as great.
Now they're looking for something that, let's say, screw reactivity. We're getting proactive in this thing. A lot of damage comes through. Phoenix just a bit too fast, though. He's going to be able to get out, so that is going to be the Ignite down. Unawakened is here and waiting with that control within the bush. They know that there's no wards. There's no way to spot out, so the question is, will they look for a dive? The answer is looking like no at the moment. A bit more damage coming through flat forward, though. And Thrall going to find his first pick. Will go down to Unawakened, though. Stepped a bit too far forward and is taking out the TP as well from Serenok there to back him up. Thought the fight would go a little bit longer, but that's about all that's going to happen.
Yeah, I almost wonder, I don't fault him for flashing. I almost wonder if he even needed the flash because he already got the...
flash forward! Sword Blue just barely alive! Well, you tried, Serenok. You tried. You know, a lot of damage going
yeah, we all like just bated breath there for a second. Oh man, you know, the first thing about casting League of Legends is loving League of Legends. So sometimes we get lost in the gameplay, but this is where the map is starting not to fall apart, but there's starting to be a short sign of life here for College Fisher's bottom lane. Gives them some ability to go over this first Drake, which is a great little turnaround to see in the matchup. But it does take the TP from Serenok to kind of help turn this thing around, as Phoenix has been able to run all over the map here, making their way back down to the bottom side now.
Get here. More handshake of trading in this top lane. The triple longsword coming out from Knowing here as well. Overall, they've just been doing their thing, but with that turret shot going in, this is the opportunity for Knowing. He sees the green light. It does get popped though from Benjini, so he's gonna opt to back off, let him roam free for now, but that just shows both of these top laners, they may look docile on the surface, Regdor, But when they see that opportunity, they pounce.
Absolutely. It is a tedious matchup as we're seeing. It's starting to come apart at the edges. We're starting to see a little bit come out, and that's a nice little scatter of the week. Again, Serenok on the Syndra needs to hit 2 abilities in a row on a champion in order to get a splinter, or getting them from level ups and the cannon minions. So really looking to farm out trades against Mirror Drag here in the lane.
Someone's been doing a great job. That's a splinter. Thank you for taking that one. Very nice Q's coming through here. And ultimately, yeah, Serenok, you're doing a great job in this lane. Obviously, this time isn't going to be on that Xerath there. Wasn't banned out, but didn't opt to take it. Didn't want to go up with that against the Akali there. So we'll have to see what he can do on the Syndra pick. And bot lane, once again, just bot lane things really shoved under the turret. No help. Dragonman Kim is up in that top lane once again, and he's there's a lot of pings coming out. They know where he is. Ace in the hole gets dropped to just do some more damage. Someone's got to give this bot lane some love, Regdor. It's just so oppressing.
They're getting a lot of love. Just the problem is it is from the side of York University, as they've taken down 3 plates so far.
Indeed, they're looking to take down Benjamin here as well, who might have just got baited in, though. Looks for the engage, but only finds death as Unawakened takes him out.
Oh, goodness. And this is the York University of old. This is the ones we were told about. The #1 seed, only dropping 1 game in the regular season.
Dragonman Kim knows he's got to hold, has to use the Heartbreak to make sure he doesn't get pulled back by the Infernal Chains. Gonna hold this top lane, doesn't want knowing to get any plates here. World Ender is gonna get popped. Are they just gonna look for it? They will indeed, with no ulti available. There's nowhere that Dragonman Kim can go except into the dirt. Down he goes. Start looking for your wife again later.
DMK is RIP here on the top side. And that was a bold dive. But they made it work after knowing the Heartbreaker was down. Not much left they can do. Need to be careful here. Mirror Drag might find the power on... it's on cooldown. Never mind. Isn't going to have the death. And there's the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, though.
Does land, but the wave's just not there. They don't quite have the damage. Unfortunate, but still a good try. I like to see.
Phoenix is looking to get a solo kill of their own. Full health.
Dude, no way, man. Come on. Do something, Phoenix. Do something. Go for it. Maybe don't go for it, actually, because Sword Blue is there, but it would still be cool to see. I'd still like to see it.
Try to bait this man.
I want blood, Rector. I want blood.
That's the only things we can do, trying to hold this wave. Benjini trying to get it shoved in. An unmovable force meets an unstoppable object.
Indeed. It's honestly, it's like their health bars are just going down in tow at the same point here, but might have been a bit much for Benji here, just barely. Staying alive there, though, with that ulti, that extra armor. It's going to keep him alive. The damage not quite going to be enough, but never mind. Knowing. Hits him with a quick Q. Goodbye. Good night.
Yeah, and this is top lane going to the side of York University. Bot lane going to the side of York University. It's only the mid lane that seems a little bit even, with the 20 CS lead going over to the side of Serenok. Is it once again Syndra the name of the game? Is that our hope and joy in this world right now?
It's starting to feel like it, man, honestly. Because everywhere else on the map, it is just York University domination at the moment here. Dragonman Kim just get hit by the Shuriken, but gonna follow it up with anything. And now first turret is gonna go down here. Starting to really see the effect of just the lack of love and attention from Dragonman Kim in this bot lane, where we said it's so incredibly pivotal, and he gets down there that he slows down this Caitlyn Karma combo. This first turret goes down 12 minutes in, and that's so much gold being influxed into the pockets of Logia.
Yeah, and this is now where the timer's really on. You've got 2 minutes of plates still up. What more can you feed this bot lane of Logia and Phoenix in the meantime? The Cole is finished. Has the Gale Force plus a Zeal now. No. Don't do it to me. Not the rapid fire cannon second.
Yeah, you know, you only get so much, Regdor. You got it for 1 game, but this time around, gonna get that rapid fire cannon second here for Logia. Unfortunate. What would you rather have seen?
Collector. Hey, that's the Collector
that's
or
fair.
PD. I think Collector is probably better here. You don't really need more attack speed. Congratulations, you just do damage. You hit him hard, you hit him slow. It's fine. But Logia is going to be able to prop up here in this mid lane, hopefully get another plate to their name, as it is going to be the Drake started up. Might get a little bit of a 2v2 here as Enthralled's coming down.
The Dragonman Kim up on that Herald path. Looking to apply a little bit of pressure. They don't know where he is, but Maya Drag looking for his own little pick there. Perfect execution gets dropped. Also take over as well. He's on to Sword Blue. The Dragon, it does get stolen by DMK. Serenok just barely staying alive. Needs to make sure he's not in sight of Logia. And so ultimately, honestly, right there, we take those.
Yeah, we take those. A stolen Dragon plus a kill over to the side of Fisher College. Showing up here in game number 3, saying we're not going to go quietly into the night. Is a 4K gold lead, though, on their way.
They collapse onto Logia, though. Nice flash and nice 50 caliber net, 90 caliber net, I do believe, to actually not get stunned up there would have spelled the death of him. Close call, but this is what we want to see, right, Rector? This is that proactivity coming through here from Fisher College. First couple of, like, 8 to 9 minutes, they were incredibly reactive, and they weren't looking so hot. Now they're getting proactive, and they're looking a whole lot better.
Yeah, they're starting to make things happen, and they're doing so in a manner that's controlled. It's not desperation. It's good map play, and they're going to need to find more of it. They really need to play around Enthralled, get them nursed back into the game here, and on top of that, really utilize that Enchanted Crystal Arrow to look for these picks. You know Logia has no flash. That is a sitting duck of an ADC if I've ever known one.
Definitely so. Knowing top lane once again, a little bit of trading coming through. That Herald is up and available, and it's like unawakened in his way on over. So maybe we can see yet another scuffle for that. But for now, Phoenix is here, waiting in the wings as well. He's gonna land on Logia, gonna force him to burn the cleanse. So that's not gonna be available. No flash, no cleanse. Now you really have no way to escape the CC.
Yeah, you just have a 90 caliber net and a dream, my friend, as they continue to try to get some priority over this wave. Really want to be pushing, want to be taking down objectives, utilizing that headshot, those empowered auto attacks on the tower to start moving your real estate forward here, as they will start up this Shelly, the Rift Herald, number 2 of the game.
Indeed. Word on it means that they know ain't done here. Dragonman Kim gonna go ahead and drop our path there, but too much he can do, knowing hopping over the wall to make sure to zone him off, and ultimately gonna go into the hands of Unawakened yet again here. Have to wait and see where he looks to place that. Seeing pings in that top lane, right?
Yeah, that's the place to go. I mean, Jax is still an incredibly strong scaling pick that'll eventually be able to match Knowing in side lane. It's just really not giving up the whole farm here, right? You're only down 2 CS, you've died twice. It's okay, but don't defend this tier 1 with your life, friend.
Yeah, that might not be the move here, but it's the move that Benjini's gonna make. Turret does go down, a lot of damage does come through, however, ultimately, only gonna lose the turret, not gonna lose his life. It could have been worse, Rector. It could have been a whole lot worse.
Yeah, it can always be worse, right? As Serenok posted up here in the mid lane, trying to get down this tower, just got an upgrade in Splinters. We'd love to see that. I think that's their 60 mark, so that should be the W that's now upgraded. Adds a little bit of true damage onto those slam downs.
It will. But for now, next drag will be up in 145 right now. Already 2 dragons are under the belt of Fisher College, but yet again, they've been doing a good job when it comes to the dragon. Been slacking a little bit on the heralds, but regardless, take those. Ace and all gonna get propped, and now we're seeing our first real fight coming through. Heartbreaker into the massive Sword Blue. It's gonna pop. Anybody's still gonna go down. He goes down, and now Dragon Min Kim is fighting for his life, but there's no one there to back him up, and so down he goes as well.
Just a really great collapse out of York University. Not too much worse for wear on the play, and that's now 3-0 on Unawakened, who stayed tried and true on this Wukong pick, refusing to really kind of move away from it. Yeah. They will not be deterred here, but there is, again, a bit of a smite difference if they're able to get any kind of access to this Drake. That is a 1200 smite for Dragon Min Kim.
Indeed, it will be. Unawakened. Gonna go ahead and drop this Rift Tail down in this mid lane with the drag being up in 45 as well. Makes sense. Get the pressure mounted, get it going. Gonna crash into the turret. Gonna take that turret out. Logan just barely staying alive. Can't say the same for Serenok, though. Can't say the same for Sword Blue either. Both of them gonna go down, and that's gonna be a free drag, most likely for the side of York University Black.
York University now 6K gold lead in their favor. And you look at where all the gold is, a lot of it is on the 2-item Caitlyn here for Logia, but a 4-0 Unawakened, 2-0 on Knowing. You have such strong pick potential and side laning right now that cannot be matched. If you're the side of College Fisher, you cannot walk into this straight. You just can't. You're asking for a death sentence at the very least.
So here, timer is obviously lined up, but York University had first move onto the dragon. Let's see if they can make use of it. We do have that smite differential that we talked about, and all of York knows is they need to get Dragon Min Kim away from the dragon as soon as possible, and they do exactly that. They pop so many cooldowns on him, but it's going to be worth it in the long end, they hope. Takeover does get dropped at the flank for Benjamin. He's here. He finds the counter strike. Meanwhile, though, Knowing going in deep. He wants Dragon Min Kim dead. Stun does come out, so he's going to swap targets. Gets onto Enthralled. Has the bailout available. Needs to find some kind of pick, but he won't find it. Down he goes. Sword Blue next on the list. One more auto attack will do it, and they find the kill. Benjamin, meanwhile, though, he's been sectioned off from the rest of the squad, and that's fine by him as he picks up the first kill onto Phoenix. Can he find the kill onto Misha is the question, though. So close, but won't quite find it, though. Goes down, and now it's up to Serenok to make something happen. Uses the blast cone. Unawakened is hot on his tail, but he's gonna let him live for now.
Hot on his tail. Unawakened did the pro Wukong move where he just hits the S key randomly to make it look like he used the little playful dash forward. Yeah. Super intelligent play there. Sadly won't result in a kill, but it is a one team fight once again for York University and their first Drake of the game. And you can see the damage isn't there. They don't have a way to kill Knowing. They don't have a way to kill Unawakened. The only person who has even a slight chance is Serenok, who wasn't there for the majority of the fight.
Yeah, and I think it's also so huge to see that obviously York recognizes, right, the smite differential coming out, which means they cannot allow Dragon Min Kim to even come close to the dragon. And we saw instantly, right, Ace in the hole gets popped. They absolutely chase Dragon Min Kim into just the ends of the earth to make sure that he dies. And then when they finally get him, it's open season for the rest.
Yeah, you know when there's a smite differential, just don't allow him a chance to smite, Fivehead. It's a really good way. And when you have this 2-0 Aatrox, it becomes really easy to take up that real estate and say you're not allowed to enter this area. Doing a great job denying the terrain as they're looking at the 20-minute mark and saying, hey, this Baron looks pretty free. They can't step up to us. They cannot fight us. There is no longer a smite differential.
Indeed, there is not. Now they've looked to start it up. That ward there being suppressed. That means that Fisher College, no, it's being taken, but don't think they can step up to it. They're going to try regardless. They send Benjini down into that bot lane to start split pushing. They're going to maybe look for Misha first here, who's been caught up. Perfect execution gets dropped. Getting on top of Serenok, though, and down it goes. Heartbreaker over the wall for Dragon Min Kim to stay alive. And with Knowing there as well, there's just nothing that they can do. Baron's going to go down into the hands of York University. And now Dragon Min Kim needs to be careful. Has no Heartbreaker available. Has the flash, though. Is able to flash over the wall. But he's still going to run further. Logia doing a whole lot of damage, looking for these kills. They all look low and juicy for him, but not quite going to find it. At the very least, Benjini is going to go ahead and grab himself this turret here. Saw the TP coming out from Knowing to try and stop him. Not going to be successful. Hopping over to the blast cone. Should stay alive. Has quite a ways to run. Actually going to look to take out Maya Drag here. Has a counter strike available. Doesn't quite find the stun. The shuriken lands. So Maya Drag actually doing a great job of outplaying him there. Running around him. Waiting for Phoenix. He doesn't even need Phoenix to be there, though. The 5-point strike just takes him out.
Yeah, and they're getting pressure. Top tier 2 now gone. Mid tier 2 also gone. Working on these tier 3s and trying to get down Unawakened, trying to get a pick out of this. But he has so much tenacity. He's so big.
Indeed, he is. A 1-on-3, though. Will it be enough is the question. Healing as much as he can, but finally, Unawakened goes down, but Amaya Drag is here. Doesn't quite get the kill on Enthralled. Use that miss to stay hidden for now. Needs to be careful. Perfect execution. He used to get on over the wall. Heartbreaker here, channeling the Spectral Maw. Gonna find the stun. But a nice shuriken flip on over the wall means that Misha and Biodrag is gonna get out of that one in one piece.
Yeah, so for the cost of 1 jungler, you get 3 towers. Here as the tier 2 finally will fall on the bottom side as well. That is quite a trade up from York University, who's playing off of the pressure being set up on these other lanes so well and not giving an inch. As you can see, all 3 of the lanes now, the top lane getting pushed out to the tier 1, but the other 2 lanes pushed to the midway point or further into the enemy base.
Hard here, but for now, Storm once again, bit of a lull period coming through here for both teams. Gonna rearm and get back at them. Still in the minute 30. Drag here. Fisher College, they can grab that. Will be soul point for them, but pretty tall order right now, Rector. It's not looking too tight for them. Pretty big gold lead right now for York University. I want to say about 8K, if I'm not mistaken. Got a lot of kills under their belts, and they still have some members that they still need to even kill, not just get like the shutdowns, but actually kill them for the first time in this game. 3 members of York University have yet to fall.
Yeah, yet to fall and continue to play incredibly intelligently around their timers and how to play, because now, once again, it's Mia Drag taking the fight. Even though it's 2v1, I still got a little bit of a favorite.
It's going to be rough here. His power. Is it going to be enough? The answer is not to kill him. At least Sword Blue running for his life. The minion shot's not quite going to take him out. Flash over the wall to dodge the 5-point strike. But look at the bottom of the base. Meanwhile, just buying so much time that honestly, York University is just looking to finish things right here, right now, perhaps. Knowing step forward, a lot of damage coming through here, and Thrall on top of him. A lot of damage comes through, has the bow shield, gonna stay alive. A lot of damage comes through, and then Thrall picks up 1. And now knowing in a tricky spot, trying to heal as much as he can. Will it be enough? Finds a 3-man. They're gonna get Benjamin unless he can find a pick. He will not. 2 more members go down to Logia. 3 more members go down to Logia. Can he find another is the question. He will indeed before he falls. A quadra kill, and this might have just sealed the fate. The shutdown comes through, and that's gonna be an ace by York University Black, and now they just need to clear out the minions.
Yeah, it was a quadra kill for Logia. You might have shut him down, but they may have shut you out of the grand finals.
Indeed, they might have. It's looking. Rasmus's first turret goes down, and Thralls and Sword Blue might just be up in time, but they have to mount some kind of a defensive here if they want to stay in this thing. And it's looking like York University Black want to just close it out right here, right now. Dashing in Myodrag gonna go down. The Nexus is still standing, knowing trying his damnedest, but he is still gonna go down. Didn't have the damage, and so Fisher College will live to fight another day. Benjini trying his damnedest again on top of Phoenix, but the tether does come through. The crystal arrow flies. I don't know if it hit. No, it did not.
Missed.
It's still flying. It missed indeed. Sucks to suck, and so they're not quite gonna get the pick on the Phoenix there.
Oh, but that is an open Nexus. No inhibitors in mid. Or in bot as well. The Drake is up. They're making a mad rush trying to get something off the board, walking over vision in the process. And the question becomes, like, the damage has been done. The vital blow has been struck here. And it's just gonna get even worse now. Logia has the Infinity Edge online. They may just look to end this while you try to take the Drake again.
Oh yeah, you can see they realize they need to get away from this Drake. They don't think they do it comfortably here. And I said opposite back. You got all these minion waves pushing, and you have no turrets. You have that singular turret in that top lane. And it's not looking too healthy, Rector. That HP bar is looking pretty black to me, and it's looking like it's about to fall at a moment's notice. It was really up to just the 5-man squad of Fisher College to find the angle and hold the line here.
Yeah, you are in defense mode. Do not let anybody pass. Blitz, blitz, blitz every down, or else you are going to be out of this tournament.
It's in the hole. Gonna get drop bit of damage off Sword Blue through it. Nice Cyclone coming through. Huge 3-man knockup. So much damage coming through, and it's not looking good for Fisher College. York University are just running them down. Unawakened says, I will not falter with the Wukong pick, and they will get the 3rd game and move on to the finals, kicking Fisher College to the curb.
Yeah, that was an absolute bot differential. Top differential in game number 3. Both of the side lanes setting their team up for success for York University, and just simply a masterclass in pushing the tempo of the game, working off of each other's pressure, and never giving Fisher College a chance to play, never giving them a chance to mount any sort of real defense.
Yeah, this was a lot more reminiscent of the fact that York University Black is the #1 seed. This time around, we really got to see that, because that was It was a dominating performance coming through. Once again, we keep talking about how proactivity versus reactivity is so huge in this matchup. And it just feels like York realized that, right? And they made sure that they didn't give Fisher College any sort of chances to make a play happen. They always put him on that back foot and force Fisher College to respond. And the response usually just wasn't up to par.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And this is just a team that's dropped now a total of 5 matches total. They lost 1 game in the regular season. Outside of that, 5 individual matches all the way up until the grand finals. And you're going to have to come pretty hard to match and stack up to that level of proactivity and their ability to bounce back with very seemingly different drafts in games 1, 2, and 3. Minus, sans the Wukong, Unawakened, the true G. But other than that, yeah, it just really wonderfully surmounted defense of it.
Absolutely. It was great to see. And with that, of course, that does mean that York University Black are going to move on to the finals, and they kick Fisher College out. And in fact, we are getting word, as we get to see the bracket itself here. We know who they're going to be facing. They're going to be facing St. Clair Saints on, I believe, December 8th, if I'm not mistaken. That's when they will be going head to head with the ultimate title of NECC champions. It is going to be a rough one there. I'm pretty sure that St. Clair Saints also were streaming their match on their own Twitch, so I'm sure you can check out the VOD there if you want to get an idea of how rough this matchup is going to be. But I can tell you right now that both of these teams, if they made it this far, they're not giving any ground.
Yeah, that is the one of the losses here was I'm so sorry. That was Fisher College, Boston, that went 1-2 versus the St. Clair Saints. The last time they met, York University Black is the number 1 seed for going a 2-1 victory over St. Clair Saints. But in the best of 5 format, that is a much different beast. And you got to see as they continue to ramp up a 2-1, a 2-0 victory over Purdue. That is telling me that this is a hungry set of Saints that are going to be coming into the grand finals.
Definitely so. Well, I'm excited to hopefully see them, but of course, all good things must come to an end, Rector. And Boshi, that is, I know. It hurts the heart, it hurts the soul. We're going to have to wait again a little while longer before we can get back out there on the Rift and see some teams play. So hopefully all of you guys enjoyed these 2 best of 3 series. Absolute bangers all the way around. We're going to go ahead and sign up. Rector, thanks again for joining me per usual. And
always a pleasure.
Thank you, man. And you guys have a great night, day, midday. I don't know what time it is for you. Just have a great day in general. We'll see you guys next time.
Live, laugh, love.
Live, laugh, love. There you go. Yep, we'll sign out with that. Live, laugh, love.